He should have been down by now.
It's not your money.
Yeah? What? Oh, tell him Mr. Hine's in conference just now.
How many of these can you get hold of?
1,000.
From Russia with love.
Yeah? Phil? Yes, I see you signs him before he leaves. Very slinky. You might say the Ruski's latest peace feeler.
You might put out feelers about my course to Stockholm and Milan.
Oh, Mary, Stockholm, Milan, sunk without a trace. Do your terrier bitch thing, darling. Mr. Hine's in a hurry. Perfect for keeping him down on the collective farm.
You should know. You were in the Red Guards.
Grenadiers!
No, the French have got that market all buttoned up. We'll be wasting our time there. Does he think this is news? I didn't keep an agent in luxury in Rio to advise us on army's re-equipping after the Yanks have sent in a regiment of armed salesmen. Santos is getting past it. He'll be advising us as a war in Vietnam next. Beautiful new letterheads for their Office of Defense. And they haven't even the money to pay for the printing, never mind guns.
The answer's no?
In capital letters, signed yours very respectfully.
Haven't time.
Anything that won't keep till Wednesday? No, you read it.
It's from your car dealer.
Oh, yes, not again.
They're in a pay-up-or-else mood.
Oh, what a pity. Next letter. They have it too easy flogging luxury cars. It'll do them good to sweat for a bit.
They do mention solicitors.
Oh, no, that's naughty. That's blackmail. Whose side are you on, Sue?
And there's this.
Oh, yes, what is it?
Surtax.
Am I going colourblind or is it in red?
Scarlet, actually. It's a final demand.
I didn't say anything that won't keep till Wednesday.
You'll not be back Wednesday.
Oh, yeah.
No, you won't. It's Monday now.
Jeremy, don't forget to chase up those surplus NATO grenades. And you can tell Schroeder to stop twiddling his fat German thumbs in Bonn. I want to report on possible surplus G91 fighters.
Everything's in.
No socks. You've forgotten the socks.
If you look properly.
Oh.
And I didn't forget your deodorant. And you are late.
You're never too late with Pong. Travel with Pong and your armpits will never miss your contract. Do you realize as men grow more like peacocks, this could be standard issue in the world's armies?
God, confine that sort of thing to the navies.
Sort it out with Pong. Never be taken prisoner without Pong.
You're dotty. I've put in both your passports in case...
You are Hine? Joe Hine?
You can't barge in here without...
You are Hine?
No, he's not.
I am from Arbelia, Mr. Hine. A letter of introduction from someone you know.
Why don't we go into my office and talk about
No.
this?
Mr. Hine's very late.
So am I, by more than a year. It won't take long. You sold weapons to my country, Mr. Hine. Mortars, armored cars.
No, not the armored cars. France sold those to you.
No, not to me, Mr. Hine. They didn't sell them to me or my friends. They sold them to my country.
And most of the mortars came from Russia.
Oh, yes, the stuff came from everywhere, didn't it? Communist weapons, capitalist weapons, made in Russia, made in America, made in Britain, France, Czechoslovakia. You know what use my country made of them, or at least the leaders of my country?
I'm a dealer, not a politician.
You don't take sides.
It isn't weapons that kill people, it's other people. Even the United Nations needs weapons, and I sell weapons for people to defend themselves with.
Good. I want 1,000 automatic rifles. Something like this.
That's Russian.
As long as they shoot straight, who cares, huh?
I don't know if we could get them anyway. That's just a sample.
Some other make, then. We have to fight back somehow.
You don't know much about them, do you?
I've never shot anybody or anything in my life.
Nor me. I wouldn't start now if I were you.
Oh, we are going to start. My people need defending against their own leaders.
1,000 automatic rifles come expensive.
That will be no problem.
Look, I'll be back on Thursday, and we'll talk then, eh?
You're not just trying to put me off.
No, I'm not. Thursday?
I thought he'd come to kill you.
Why you dialed 999?
Went through my mind.
And right out through the hole in your head. You have to push, Frank. We're late.
We'll make the best of it, Mr. Hine.
Frank's feeling hurt.
Well, he shouldn't get emotionally involved with meter maids, should he? Nobody should get emotionally involved with anybody.
I took your Stockholm and Milan calls.
Yeah?
Both Sven and Emilio were out. I could get them this evening.
Well, if they ask where I've gone to, you tell them Rio, Timbuktu, Bangkok, anywhere but the Middle East.
I wouldn't mind coming with you.
You always say that.
Well, I wouldn't.
Well, you can't, not even on your broomstick.
I said with you.
You stick to London, Sue. The lemonade's better.
I'm 24 on Thursday.
Well, that's a good way of reminding me, even if I am your boss and not your sugar daddy. All right, love. Dinner on Thursday?
I'll bet you're not back in time.
Now, when he gets through to Stockholm, ask Sven for a price on 50 turretless Mark IIs. And when he gets through to Milan, ask Emilio for a delivery date, a realistic one, on 50 Leonardos.
Tanks?
And I might want the answer a bit smartish tomorrow.
Before or after the party?
With this lot, love, everything's business. Sentiment's nothing to them. It's just so much bloody window dressing. In the middle of the party, for all I know.
German now.
Or looks at the sexy photos.
No, it's not that kind of magazine. Not that you'd know, Bomber.
I was reading that before you did your national service.
Nobody else?
No, Mr. Hine.
Good job you're nationalised, love.
It's our quiet season, sir.
Oh, very nearly only the two of us.
Ah, not in your life, Walpole. I'm the sort they hold up jumbo jets for. Whitehall getting stingy? Right, I thought a copy of that would have landed on your desk, all done up in red tape.
The department gets its quota.
Oh, but you're about 57th on the distribution list, eh?
Substantially higher, actually. But then I have to read and digest, not read and rush in.
Back to Troll, there's a very interesting article about the Chinese flogging weapons to the Africans.
Yes, I know. They called to ask what we were doing about it.
And you said you were only flogging catapults, eh? Launching food parcels to the hungry people. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're all right, Esther.
Never felt fitter.
Only you're very quiet. Pendle's not going bust, I hope.
We'll get by, thank you, Hine.
Oh, it's very reassuring.
Assets 146 million as last time we did the sums. What are yours?
Mine? Well, you see, I wasn't making guns for Queen Victoria, and I'm not making rockets now. My assets are me, myself, Joe Hine.
Frank, I didn't stay, remember?
Well, if you say you didn't.
Well, I didn't.
Well, if they ask where I've gone to, you tell them. Rio, Timbuktu, Bangkok, anywhere but the Middle East.
I wouldn't mind coming with you.
You always say that.
Well, I wouldn't.
Well, you can't, not even on your broomstick.
I said with you.
You stick to London, Sue. The lemonade's better.
Schroeder, we've been very patient, Hine and I. We want that report on possible surplus G91s, and we want it by yesterday. It's not as if I'm asking for a classified rundown on the current war capabilities of the Luftwaffe. Hine and I could get the information from other sources. I said yesterday, the day after tomorrow at the latest. Schroeder, you should know better than to ask that. Look, for all I know, he's eating fish and chips with his fingers out of a newspaper. In Manchester. The day after tomorrow, then. It'll be with us. Fine. Wiedersehen. What's up, then? He didn't crash on takeoff. Or did he?
When you're stupid, you're very, very stupid.
Yes, well, I suppose London Airport could have been fog-bound. And if it was, he wouldn't have taken off at all, would he? God, you'd think he'd fled the country for good.
Look, I've enough work here to keep me going till after 9 at least. You could make some coffee.
Irish, laced.
And that should be locked away.
Aha. So that's what's bothering you.
Yes.
It didn't bother you much when he was looking at
It
it.
does now.
Incidentally, her ladyship's been on. Twice in 1 week, things are moving. How long is it now since they've been separated?
Long enough. Did she leave a message?
No. But then she wouldn't, not with me. She doesn't think much of me.
Well.
Pride, that's her problem. Won't even reverse the charges.
Oh, why should she?
In Paris, I would. Maybe she's got some froggy with a load of gold buried in his backyard.
I shouldn't think so.
Well, if she hasn't, it can't be much fun being Mrs. Joe Hine.
It can't be much fun being Mrs. Anybody. I can understand you wanting to learn from him, but must you try to imitate?
What's wrong? My socks? I always used to walk about like this when I was an officer of the guard at Buck House. Not outside, of course. Not in front of the patrons. Now should we get on parade done, showdown? Or should we set up a deal on our own to shake our master when he gets back?
A deal with the milkman, the dustman, or the meter maid?
Where did you watch the takeoff from? Top of the multi-storied car park?
Oh, be a devil, Walpole. Take your pension. Astor, 52,000 workers are depending on you, not to mention those layabouts packing your boardroom. Oh, I hear they're calling in a team of American efficiency experts to see what all those directors are up to. America to the rescue of one of Britain's biggest defense firms, eh? The old empire's final nosedive. No. A load of nothing. All round.
I frankly find it hard to tolerate anyone who can work against his own country.
Oh, come on.
I mean
if you let him rattle you, he will.
I sorted him out in the army when he was a jumped-up little corporal at my depot.
You didn't even know he was there. Your whole career in the Ordnance Corps blighted by one missed
I
opportunity.
don't see how you can possibly defend him. Drives a coach and horses through the Official Secrets Act. Or gets others to.
I don't know about coach and horses. A few armored fighting vehicles, perhaps. A few tanks. And who knows, in time, jets and radar and rockets. But you know, Astor, your logic bothers me.
He manufactures nothing. He carries no
He
stocks.
sells?
At a commission. A hell of a commission.
Now, don't forget, you're no longer in Her Majesty's forces. You're in private enterprise like Hine.
Pendle's is an old, established, respectable firm responsible to its work people and to its country.
And its shareholders.
I suppose what you're saying is that only government should sell weapons. We should leave it all to Dado.
My position, Astor.
Here's to the Department for Arms Disposal overseas. May it rest in peace.
Well, mine's empty, actually.
I like chop suey.
Not on this flight.
Sweet and sour pork. Chicken and almonds. Bean shoots. Not even fried rice. Lobster balls.
We're going to the Middle East, Mr. Hine.
Oh, I'm on the wrong plane. Tell them to turn back. You're not, I suppose, staying overnight in Beirut.
No.
I bet you are.
And the word we use is resting.
I got 6 hours there before my flight connection. I know a super little Chinese restaurant.
In Beirut? Well, then I suggest you find yourself a Chinese stewardess.
Oh. Who dealt? And you can wipe away that pure as illegal of Walpole. Brigadier?
Your call.
Well, let's make the ride a bit bumpy, shall we? Let's start in thousands.
Cents or new pence?
Pounds.
Have you been secretly drinking out there?
Why not? Walpole's pension, your expenses.
If your overweening confidence is meant to imply that you know more than we do about the purpose of our journey.
Oh, I thought we'd been asked to a party. And when you're asked to a party by the defense minister of one of the richest countries in the Middle East, you don't reply that you can't stand parties, do you? You pack your bags and your gifts and you go.
You know what I mean, Joe. The real purpose.
We've one thing in common. We're all in the dark together. The only difference between me and you two is that I'm paying my own fare.
Joe, I just knew you'd be here. So I bet at the CIA. Now, Joe, but I did hear a whisper you were in South America.
Havana, Cuba.
Joe, you never give up, do you? They'll always be in England while you're batting, Joe. You know, sometimes I think you're the only Englishman not sitting on his ass in that lazy welfare state.
Oh, not quite, old chap. Not quite.
Well, you're ambassador, is it?
No, not in your life. His bloody excellency would never have any truck with us lot. Oh, I'd say this was your friend and mine, your Oppo from Whitehall. He likes borrowing ambassadors' jalopies.
Walpole.
Hello, Mitchell.
Now that's what I call stately.
What did he expect, a mini? Where do I put this thing here? Oh, thank you very much. I will
First son.
Astor, it's simply delightful.
A shade premature, perhaps.
Nonsense, it's superb, Astor.
The sooner they start counting up to 10, the better.
Better still to 1 million, eh?
Oh, Joe.
Spitting image, Rashi.
Hey, moon balls. God, now, why didn't we think of that?
Surprised you didn't?
Astor, they're in gold.
Yes, sir.
They made you look
Solid, sir. That'd be rather too heavy for the little chap to move.
It's much too extravagant anyway, Astor. You know, I'm surprised you didn't have trouble with our customs. It is bullion.
Your customs all seem to think I'm carrying arms for you to buy, Minister. They stay so far away from my baggage, you'd think it was radioactive.
Joe, how appropriate.
diaper pins, Walpole.
Nappy pin.
And in solid gold. Joe.
Oh, technologically dead right. They're rust. Hey.
Oh! Oh, Mitchell, it's fantastic.
Stainless.
My country's first lunar module. You're the quick mover, Joe. You should ask Mitchell if it's patented. Well, there must be a market for lunar module dining chairs for under twos.
Well, how many kids would want their meals on the moon?
Well, have no kids your own, Joe. How would you know?
Would want moon dust on his ice lolly.
Ice lollies, yeah, that's very good.
Gentlemen, friends, you don't want to waste your time in the nursery. Oh, Walpole, I'm so sorry.
Thank you. Oh, dear Walpole, how clever. Our son's place at Eton.
Oh.
Your school, Walpole?
No, Madam Winchester.
Astor?
Wellington, ma'am.
Joe?
Oh, yes, of course.
Astor, what's it remind you of? What? These wise men bearing gifts in the Middle East.
Huh? Just a shade ironic, perhaps.
All trying to flog bombs and bullets till the infants died, eh? Great.
A full turnout, including the dratted French. Oh, well, Rashid's making his point, I suppose. That it's a buyer's market for his defense package, for his missiles and his fighters and his radar.
Oh, don't be cynical, Astor. His chums, didn't you know? His pals. His dear, dear hearts across the ocean. Why, even defense ministers have to have bosom pals, and we're them. Wise men bearing gifts. In the £100 million rat race.
It's no sprint either, it's a marathon.
6 months? 6 years, who knows?
Our host could have 3 sons before anything's decided.
They'll all be at bloody Harrow before anything's decided.
Eton, Hine, Eton.
Yes, well, they'll both have gone comprehensive, won't they?
God forbid.
No, it's progress, Walpole. Progress. Universal. Now in the Gulf, or in any other Arab country, Faro wouldn't be allowed within a mile of this lot. It'd be stag.
And what do you mean by progress? Mr. God, they changed their liquor laws, too. I don't think I can face an evening on orange juice. Oh, well, I suppose it's all worth it.
Your firm must think so.
And yours?
Mine's me, Bomber. Yeah, it's worth it to take on this lot and win.
Always was your trouble, wasn't it? Chip on your shoulder. And you can't win this one. Whatever it is, and it's not the big defense package, not this time.
No?
You know damn well it isn't.
Well, out with it then, Bomber. What's he in the market for this time? Proud dad over there.
Excuse me, Rash.
Pea shooters.
Nothing, I'd say. Not now.
Not now.
He was. Our friend Mitchell Berg, Jr. has been in and out of here like some desert commuter. That's my reading, anyhow.
Mitchell Berg and his big battalion.
And his expense account.
You sound like a poor relation, Bomber. Don't break my heart.
Didn't get a top floor room at the hotel, did you?
No. Never asked for one.
Just as well. Berg and his sales team have reserved the entire top floor.
Well, don't they know?
What?
Well, the lifts in there, or should I call them elevators, they keep on breaking down. Something to do with the climate, or the makers. And it's a hell of a hike to the 19th floor.
Ah, Walpole. It's just so reassuring to see you. You've no idea.
As we're competitors, Mitchell, I'd rather you found my presence worrying, even infuriating, but not reassuring.
Come on, Walpole, you know what I mean. We need your British cool in these places you pulled out of.
With your help.
Well, what's done's done. Fact is, the free world needs you.
Well, thank you.
I really mean that, Walpole. I really do.
We were, in fact, never actually here, not in this country.
Well, no, but what I'm on about is influence, Walpole. Those old red blobs on the map used to have this kind of luminosity thing glowing over a much wider area.
Those are the houses of the British community burning.
Ah, Walpole.
They were luminous then.
Yes, well, I guess we didn't help much.
But you're making up for it now, eh? What's the latest figure? $2 billion worth of arms for the free world every year that you're selling.
No, that wasn't meant kindly, Walpole. After all, it can't be that bad. I mean, not a Russian in sight. Yet. Now that I do not call sporting. Not terribly British, you know what I mean?
Hine isn't terribly British. We do get this illiberal impulse occasionally to prevent him going abroad, to deny him leave to embark from London Airport. But do excuse me.
Now, don't blow your cool, Astor. There's less to it than meets the eye.
No, Berg. You're missing your bourbon as much as I'm missing my gin.
No, seriously, Astor.
No, I couldn't be more so, old chap.
Well, if it's any consolation, Hine's too late.
What for?
For what's going?
Huh? Nothing, I'd say. This is what one might call a dummy run. Personally, I can't wait to get back.
Now, Astor, that's no talk for a head of weapons sales.
Didn't hear anybody else say it.
Well, anyway, for what it's worth, don't worry about Hine. There's nothing here for Joseph, not even the odd rifle.
I do find that reassuring.
Well, come on, Astor. You don't want him to pick up a contract for Pendle's products that you should be picking up yourself, direct. You know, I guess you'd even prefer they gave it to us rather than Hine.
I don't know about prefer, I'd certainly expect it. Considering the size of your sales team out here, how many is it? 20? 40? Anyway, they'll hardly be missed, will they? What is it? 500,000 U.S. government employees depend for their jobs on arms sales?
Now, Astor, do I detect a touch of envy?
Oh, more than a touch, I assure you. After all, you do like to make your presence felt in the developing world.
And Europe. You know, the next thing you know, you'll be blaming us for every war since World War II.
Oh, not all 50, no.
Well, thank you, Astor. But we do go in to strengthen the free world.
With wads of dollars fat enough to buy your way into the market. The last time we bumped into each other, you just bought your way into our market.
Nothing sacred about markets, Astor. You see, some of us just don't want to stop the world and get off, like you British.
Come now, you do sell 5 times as much as we do.
That's right, Astor.
Having bought your way in through your military defense program.
Look, Astor, there's room for all of us. I mean, at this very moment, all over the world, there's 100,000 bombers and fighters going obsolete. Millions of rifles and small arms, all due to be replaced.
Consumption rate is high, I'll admit, but still you buy your way in.
You make it sound like seduction.
Rape had been nearer the mark, or procurement.
You know, Astor, I gotta hand it to you, British. Nobody listening to us now would ever dream there's a special relationship between our countries.
They wouldn't be far wrong.
Is he,
It's all right, Joe. He doesn't know Arabic, let alone English.
No, I meant if he was asleep.
Well, my study is downstairs, but if we'd gone there, they'd all know it was business. They probably assume it is anyhow, and we really shouldn't be meeting. But Farah is very persuasive.
Oh, I know.
You have the same effect on the wives of all the defense ministers you deal with?
No, Farah's special.
I'm glad. You, not enjoying the party or something?
Well, I'm not enjoying not being a party to what's going on.
I told you. Tomorrow.
Yeah, but I think tomorrow might be a bit too late. After the last deal, and it was a very good one all round. We agreed I'd be in on the next.
What we agreed, Joe, was that you would get special consideration on the big defense package. On the radar, the jets, the missiles, or some part of it.
Preferably the lot.
And you wouldn't want me to disclose official secrets now, would you?
Not if it worries you, no.
Well, we know the radar we want and the jet fighters. The missiles we are still evaluating. It's still wide open.
Between the American Hellcat and the British Virago?
The Petite Amie?
Petite Amie?
The little friend.
That's the French to think up a lovey-dovey name like that for a missile.
It just had a code number until yesterday.
And what does it do?
Influences people.
Ask a stupid question. So you're not ready? You're genuinely not ready?
On the big package? No.
But we're not all here just to launch Junior.
When I invited you all, we were in the market.
Were?
We've been obsessed with our external security. We'd almost forgotten the enemies inside our country. Oh, we still need the package. But other things have immediate priority.
Like tanks?
We'll explain tomorrow, Joe, to all of you.
Look, I can get you a deal on any model made in the West.
I said we were in the market.
The Americans? Oh, I knew it was them or the French.
They saw the need, and enterprise deserves its reward. Now, you'd be the first one to see that, Joe.
Nothing else? Never mind.
Look, Joe, they shipped us their new Dallas Mark V, and we like it.
Yes, but you might like the new British Frobisher, the Swedish turretless. You are committed.
Except for final details. Your turn will come, Joe, I promise you.
Oh, good. Well, at least we didn't wake him up. Takes off.
أيوة نعم خليه يدخل وكيف الفيلم؟ Astor, Bomber, welcome. You met General Khoury last night.
Indeed. We let the orange juice go to our heads. Fought the next desert war through to victory.
Did you hear how Mr. Harris got his nickname, Bomber?
Oh, not again, please. I don't really enjoy the name Rashid. Besides, there was really only one Bomber Harris. I was never in his league, nor anything like, of course, his equivalent rank.
The British were getting out of the Middle East, weren't you, Astor?
At the double.
And there was this stockpile of RAF bombs, and they were going to dump them. Dump them. Perfectly good primed bombs. Until Astor had this marvelous idea. Why dump them when there was this demand for them? You got a good price for them, didn't you, Astor?
No, I made £1 or £2.
Not in his pocket, mind.
God heaven forbid. I was a serving officer in Her Majesty's forces at the time.
What was it you got, though? The JBE?
CB.
Companion of the British Empire, then, yes.
Without the E, actually. CB. Companion of Bath.
Well, Bath or Empire, you found your vocation.
Some vocation. All right, Rashid. Tell me the worst.
Look, Alan, you're sure about this? You've got dates, times, you can substantiate. Just a tick. Oh, it's you.
I shouldn't bother to overdo it, Hine. I'm just back from the presents and bombers there now, getting the sorry you've been trouble bit.
Oh, yeah?
Well, your time's been wasted, too. We've all been pipped on a contract worth $4.5 million. $5 million with spares.
Yes, I know. 50 tanks. Look, Alan, get round here as soon as you can, will you? Yeah, of course, with the film. Right?
And how is Dobson?
Busy as desert rat, as usual.
I'll never understand what induces such a man to leave the Foreign Service to become a...
Oh, they were forming a queue to be my agent in the Middle East. Come off it, Walpole.
Such a fine Arabist. Loot, I suppose. His share of your loot. Well, what else could it be?
Sure. Just sold out, didn't it? Couldn't be anything else. Couldn't be to get enough of all that flannel and bull and hypocrisy, all that genuflecting on behalf of Her Majesty, all the long-winded memos of the Pinstripe Brigade. Couldn't be that he just said, stuff that lot and bang to pension rights.
With you, he gets his pension now 100 times over.
Nobody's in this world to make a loss.
Profitability is the sickest joke of our time.
But like civil servants flogging weapons. The game's not dirty as long as the Treasury pockets the proceeds.
The only proceeds from this jaunt are all bound for the States anyway. Have you suddenly gone dry? You usually manage to open an illicit half bottle.
You are? Help yourself. As long as you don't breathe over the next copy you meet. I could bail you out, but I might not want to.
You know what I mean. First the tanks, then the big defense package, all America bound. After all, it's the same people making the decisions. Rashid and his new chief of staff. I don't like it. I don't like Britain being pushed out in the cold.
I don't like me being pushed out into the cold.
Rashid's a politician. Replaceable. Prime Minister who might prefer a different chief of staff. Now, you know more than most about Rashid. After all, you've done 1 or 2 deals with him. By Switzerland and the usual number that counts. And we know that there's a purge going on here against corruption. Heaven knows it's time. Of course, it's not for me to advise you to help get rid of Rashid.
It's not for me to advise you to watch what you say.
But you could help, couldn't you?
My name's Joe Hine, not Honest Joe. You stay and finish that if you like, Walpole. Al and I have things to talk about. in the street. Hotel rooms I get landed with usually have ears.
Dobson, now, nice to see you.
What is it, Joe? Blue film?
To make you see red.
I mustn't ask where you got it.
Sure, ask away. I'll say from Lawrence of Arabia.
I regret this interview has to be only a formality.
You might still change your minds. Your neighbors to the north don't like you suddenly buying 50 more tanks.
They must know by now. And they know the tanks are for our internal security.
Oh, they've known for 5 weeks. And suspect you don't need any more tanks for your internal security.
Up to them?
You started negotiating with Mitchell Berg on November the 19th. I don't know why I was left out, but...
Berg approached us.
It's all right, I'm not belching sour grapes. You saw him again on December the 12th, and you said you'd make up your minds.
Subject to details.
The usual details. It's the dates that matter. November the 19th and December the 12th.
I thought you were telling us.
I'm also telling you that on November the 20th and December the 13th, the days after your meetings, he also met somebody else. The defense minister of your neighbor to the north.
No, never.
He met Gamel and his chief of staff in Geneva.
The city of peace.
United Nations, International Red Cross, and disarmament conferences wherever you look.
Very strange, you Europeans.
Americans are Europeans.
So, he met Gamal.
By Lake Geneva. And they didn't talk about breeding peace doves either.
What then?
Deadeye. Would you like to roll the film? So, he flogs you tanks and he sells them Deadeye anti-tank missiles.
I didn't see Mitchell Berg Jr. I didn't see Gamal.
Well, make your own inquiries. It's not the first time a salesman has sold to both sides. It won't be the last. That's not my scene. Keep the film if you like. It's good for a laugh.
Better like next time, Joe.
My love to all your four-star generals, Mitchell.
Well, perhaps I will have a finger or two. Pity to leave it.
Maybe so. Try to get sloshed. Takeoff's not till 4:55.
Can't understand what they're up to with Walpole. Calling him back like this.
That's love. That's what it is. They can't bear to see him go.
Call it a last-minute hitch. What matters is that our second choice is the Frobisher. We need 50 by March at the latest. I know your friend Harris's company builds the tank, but in view of the urgency, this has to be a government-to-government deal.
If you mean the British Army might insist on having their full quota delivered first.
It could be a problem.
I can bring a certain amount of pressure.
It's not promises we want, Walpole, nor a tug of war between your people and the British Army. It's tanks.
You may leave it to me.
Subject to details, of course, the usual details.
Yes, of course.
You may find it convenient to put this contract through Hine. Let him broker the deal. It's up to you, of course, but he's someone we trust.
Gentlemen, you'll get your tanks. General.
Good afternoon, sir. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Hello, Grandma. My present answered. I asked for the same crew.
It's not. The captain and first officer stayed in Delhi.
You mean we're on autopilot all the way?
Sir.
No, not for me, love. No, I never look back. That's for old men.
Can't be deceived. He's older than he looks.
Ah, you made it.
Oh, yeah.
Good. Because they'd never have held a flight. Not for Walpole Gibb. No. That's full of top secrets. He was running away with them, but he left his key in London. See what I mean?
Last night the deal was on. This afternoon you called me in to say it's in doubt, now it's off. You'll excuse me if I'm bewildered.
You are excused.
Well, now, if it's a matter of financial details.
I told you the reasons are technical.
Look, whatever modifications you require, Minister, we'd be ready to...
We are in a hurry. We like you, Mitchell, but we are in a hurry.
What is it, Hine?
Well, if it's the British, I hope they deliver on time. They have some strange ideas about deadlines.
Esther, suppose you were asked to deliver 50 Frobishers by March.
Suppose we... You're not suggesting... Out of heaven and earth, Walpole.
Leave them where they are, Esther, and just concentrate on your co-directors and shop stewards.
All the same, I might have made some helpful noises about production possibilities. Had I been called in?
Well, they wanted it government to government, you understand. Besides, it all happened rather quickly, after I'd given them a piece of my mind. It was in your room, wasn't it, Joe? As he went out of his way to point out, hotel rooms he occupies usually have big ears. So we gave him something to listen to, didn't we, Joe? Well, let's raise the limit. Should we say £10?
Bit of a jump from 2 bob, isn't it?
For a jet-setting super salesman, Joe, you have a frankly disappointing streak of caution.
For a friend, love, do you have such a thing as a tranquilizer?
Yes? Who? No, I'm afraid Mr. Hine's in conference just now. Why don't you call him?
What about?
I see, yes.
There's this invitation to address the Mercenaries Association.
No.
I said no. A message from your wife.
Oh, yeah?
Wanting to know if she can use the house in Malta the week beginning the 10th of next month.
If she does, I don't.
So what do I say?
Say yes, I'll not be in Malta. Conjugal communication via memos and third parties.
From Freddie, asking whether...
Asking? Again? She'll be an interrogator, not an accountant.
He wants to know if you...
Yes? Tell him we'll call back.
Oh.
Wants to know if you're keeping your banker's orders at their present level to the Save the Children Fund and the World Wildlife Fund.
Sure, what's he on about?
He's an accountant.
Tell him to watch his conscience and I'll take care of mine.
Yes? Hold on a minute. It's him. No, he's outside in the outer office.
Right. Give
I'll
me
be
something
right
to
out.
be looking at. No, there's something light. Yeah. What's up?
Nothing.
Sue, I said what's up.
Oh, you're too busy, much too busy.
Look, Sue, Oh, God.
If you can't take me to dinner, I understand. I really do. I'm not terribly surprised.
Look, tomorrow, definitely.
Tomorrow is not my birthday.
Good day, Hine. Oh, it's all right, my dear. I'm very fuzzy.
Hello, Walpole. What'll you have?
It's early, isn't it?
Well, only for sex, and that's not our scene, is it? There's an absolutely marvellous piece in here about an Adam and Eve sect who live in a garden and spend all their time nibbling each other's apples.
Well, the world's full of problems, now as then. You do realize, Hine, that I took a calculated risk.
Eh?
By coming out with what I did out there. They don't expect straight words from the British, you know. They've got into the habit of expecting us to talk with our tongues in our cheeks. So it pays on occasion to let them see where one stands. They were giving the contract, and probably the larger one to follow, to one of our competitors, so what was there to lose? The worst they could have done was to declare me persona non grata.
You mean you, worked it out?
Well, naturally.
Knowing you could have been for the chop.
Okay. As you're so fond of pointing out, we civil servants don't bleed. We've got none of the stuff to bleed with. I'd have been moved sideways, bruised a little, humiliated a little. But my head would have rolled, gently.
So you think that's what did it then, eh? What you said about Rashid in my room?
Well, I should have thought it was obvious.
Well, cheers.
Yeah. Oh, there is just one problem. The contract is subject to detail. Rashid and his chief of staff clearly expect some personal gain out of their public service. Sordid, usual little pourboire, so common even in the improving countries in the Middle East.
Yes, you mean bakshish.
I'm familiar with the word, but I'm touchy about slang. Incidentally, Rashid has no objection to your involvement.
Hasn't he? Oh, I'm touched.
What I'm saying, Hine, is that we're prepared for you to broker the deal.
What you're saying, Walpole, is that the government can't afford to dirty its hands with backsheesh. It just wouldn't do in your nice, clean, cosy little Whitehall.
Well, no, it wouldn't really do.
Well, you leave it to me, and I know his percentage. You won't even need disinfectant or a nail brush.
No, we'll be in touch, Hine.
Forward with the people.
Short and sweet. Tom?
Our commission's about 200,000.
Of which Rashid and his chums get half.
Oh, a bit more than that. Quite a bit more.
How much is quite a bit?
You're asking too many questions. I'm beginning to wonder about you.
I expect to know how well we're doing. Or badly.
Well, you expect too much. And don't you throw me that old establishment look, Jeremy. When you've been here a bit longer, I'll tell you more. Just for the meantime, presume that we'll come out in the black. But only just. Rashid and his friends are holding out their begging bowls for rather more than £130,000. And we've got all our Middle East contacts to keep sweet, not to mention overheads for agents like Dobson and his high life in Beirut. And, of course, this office. And you.
My loot wouldn't worry a provincial grocer.
What do you know about provincial grocers? Just rejoice that we've won an engagement and the major battle is still to come. I can just see Mitchellberg Jr.'s face, eh? You won't know what's hit him.
Was he doing a deal with Gamble?
Well, they were in Geneva at the same time, and that's all that concerns Rashid. The rest is potatoes.
You've another visitor. I can put him off. Gent you saw on Monday from Mabella.
No, I'll see him.
Go right in.
Thank you. Ah, I don't think I can help. Will you have a drink?
No, I am teetotal.
Oh.
Good enough?
Swiss banks are the best in the world, and this is one of the best.
So?
I'm sorry.
You're a businessman. The money's there.
Well, my government and yours wouldn't like it.
I am not dealing with your government, Mr. Hine.
I am.
So you are not so independent?
Well, I don't think I could get an export license anyway.
No problem for you, I would have thought. They say you know how to get around regulations.
Well, that all depends what the weather's like, and who I met the night before, and... And you don't bite the hand that feeds you. Not immediately. At least not until after feeding time. Besides, rifles are dangerous.